Chosen one, listen carefully. What I'm about to tell you will change your life forever. If you're hearing this message today, it's no accident. God has led you here because He wants to remind you of something powerful. Your lost years will be restored. Every tear, every disappointment, every delay you've faced was not in vain. God is not only aware of your pain, but He has already set a plan in motion to bring back everything you thought was gone. Maybe you feel like time has slipped through your fingers. Maybe you've spent years struggling, waiting, hoping, yet nothing has changed. You look around and it seems like everyone else is moving forward, building their dreams, stepping into their blessings, while you feel stuck. But hear me when I say this: God is not finished with you. What feels like wasted years to you is not wasted in the eyes of God. The enemy wants you to believe that your best days are behind you, that the opportunities you missed are gone forever, that your past mistakes have robbed you of your future. But that is a lie. God is a restorer. And when He restores, He doesn't just give you back what was lost. He gives you more. He takes what the enemy meant for harm and turns it into a testimony. He turns broken pieces into something beautiful. He takes years of suffering and exchanges them for years of overflowing blessings. This is not just a hopeful thought. This is a promise. Joel 2:25 says, "I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten." That means the time you thought was wasted is about to be redeemed by God Himself. He is about to open doors for you that no man can shut. He is about to turn your setbacks into setups for something greater. He is about to give you back everything you lost and more. So do not lose heart. This is your season of restoration. The struggle is ending. The delay is over. The blessings you have been praying for are already on their way. Get ready, because what's coming is greater than what was lost. For so long, you've carried the weight of regret, feeling like time has slipped through your fingers. You look back at your life and wonder, what if I had done things differently? What if I hadn't made that mistake? What if I had taken that opportunity? Would my life be different now? These thoughts have haunted you, stealing your peace, making you feel like you've fallen behind. Maybe you feel like you've wasted too many years on the wrong path, a bad relationship, a toxic environment, the wrong career, or chasing things that didn't fulfill you. Maybe life threw unexpected challenges at you, sickness, betrayal, loss, financial hardship, and suddenly you found yourself years behind where you thought you would be. And now, doubt creeps in, whispering that it's too late to turn things around, that your time has passed, that the best you can do is settle for less. But let me tell you something. God does not operate on human timelines. You are not behind schedule. You are exactly where He needs you to be. Every trial you've faced, every tear you've shed, every season of waiting, it was all leading to this moment. Look at the story of Joseph in the Bible. He was betrayed by his own brothers, thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, wrongfully imprisoned. 13 years of his life seemed wasted, but in one moment, God restored everything. Joseph went from a prisoner to the second most powerful man in Egypt. What seemed like lost years were actually years of preparation. If Joseph had given up, he would have never seen the promise. Your life is no different. God is preparing something greater than you can imagine. What feels like delay is actually divine alignment. You are not forgotten. You are not too late. Your story is not over. God is about to redeem your time, accelerate your blessings, and restore everything you thought was lost. So stop believing the enemy's lies. Stop thinking that it's over for you. It is not over. The years the enemy stole are about to be restored. The time you thought was wasted is about to be repaid. Your greatest blessings are still ahead of you. When God makes a promise, He does not break it. He is a God of restoration. He does not leave his children empty-handed. He is not just the God of today. He is the God of everything you've lost, everything you've waited for, and everything that is yet to come. And he has promised that your years will be restored. Think about what restoration truly means. It's not just about getting back what was lost. When God restores, he multiplies. He adds increase to what was taken from you. Look at the story of Job, a man who lost everything, his wealth, his health, his family. But because Job remained faithful, God restored double what was lost. What the enemy destroyed, God rebuilt greater than before. That's the kind of restoration God has planned for you. He is not just giving back what you lost, he is giving back more. More peace, more joy, more opportunities, more love, more than you ever imagined. But here's the key. You must believe in his promise. You must walk in faith even when you don't see it yet. Faith is what unlocks restoration. The enemy wants you to stay discouraged, to keep looking at what's missing. But God wants you to lift your eyes and see what is coming. Isaiah 61:7 says, "Instead of your shame, you shall have double honor, and instead of confusion, they shall rejoice in their portion. Therefore, in their land, they shall possess double. Everlasting joy shall be theirs." That is a promise for you. Where there was loss, there will be double gain. Where there was pain, there will be healing. Where there was delay, there will be acceleration. But you have to step into this truth. You have to shift your mindset from loss to restoration, from regret to redemption. Stop looking at what's gone and start expecting what's coming. God is already working behind the scenes to restore you. Every moment of your pain, every tear you cried, it was not wasted. God saw it all. And he is preparing a blessing so great that it will wipe away every sorrow, every regret, every doubt. The enemy thought he won, but he didn't. God is in control, and your restoration is coming. Time is something we measure, but God exists outside of time. What seems too late for you is right on time for him. Maybe you feel like life has passed. You buy that opportunities have come and gone, that you've missed your moment. But let me tell you, God is never late. We often think that if something doesn't happen by a certain age, then it won't happen at all. But God's timing is not like ours. He is the master planner, and his timing is always perfect. He is not in a hurry, but he is never late. Look at Abraham and Sarah in the Bible. God promised them a son, but years passed and nothing happened. They were old, far beyond the age of having children. Sarah laughed when she heard that she would still give birth. She thought it was too late. But what did God do? He fulfilled his promise at the exact moment he had planned. Isaac was born, and their joy was greater because God had done the impossible. God specializes in doing the impossible. What looks dead in your life, what seems over, what you think has expired, God can bring it back. Your dreams, your purpose, your opportunities, they are not gone. They are simply waiting for God's perfect timing. There are doors you thought were shut forever that God is about to open. There are blessings you thought you missed that God is bringing back, even better than before. He is not bound by time, and he is never limited by your age, your past, or your circumstances. Isaiah 60:22 says, "At the right time, I, the Lord, will make it happen." God has a set time for your breakthrough, and when that moment comes, nothing can stop it. No delay, no mistake, no attack from the enemy can keep you from what God has prepared for you. You are right on schedule. So stop worrying about the time that has passed. Stop wondering if it's too late. It is not too late. What God has promised you will come to pass. Keep believing, keep trusting, because when it happens, it will happen. Quickly, powerfully, and in a way that leaves no doubt. Only God could have done this. You may not see it now, but everything you have gone through has a purpose. The pain, The waiting, the struggles, they were never wasted. God was using them to shape you, prepare you, and position you for what's coming. Romans 8:28 says, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." Notice it doesn't say some things, it says all things. That means even your mistakes, even your failures, even the things you wish you could erase from your past. God is turning them for your good. Look at the life of Moses. He made a terrible mistake. He killed a man and fled into the wilderness, thinking his destiny was over. But while Moses thought he had wasted his life, God was preparing him. In the wilderness, God shaped him into the leader who would set his people free. The very thing Moses thought had ruined him was the thing that God used to train him, humble him, and prepare him for his greatest calling. Your life is no different. What you thought was a detour was actually part of God's design. The relationships that didn't work out, the job that didn't last, the opportunity that didn't happen, it was all preparing you for something greater. God does not waste anything, not your pain, not your past, not your time. He takes everything and works it together in ways you cannot see. What the enemy meant for evil, God is using for good. You may not understand it now. You may be asking, why did I have to go through this? But one day, you will look back and see that God was in every detail. He was working behind the scenes, setting things in motion, making sure that everything happened exactly the way it needed to. Joseph told his brothers in Genesis 50:20, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." Your past does not define you. Your mistakes do not define you. What happened to you does not define you. God's plan defines you. And his plan is good. His plan is restoration. His plan is to take every broken piece of your life and use it for something powerful. Trust him. He is not done with you yet. The best chapters of your story are still being written. Regret is one of the enemy's favorite weapons. He wants you to stay stuck in the past, replaying every mistake, every missed opportunity, every painful moment. He wants you to believe that you've lost too much to ever recover. But God is calling you out of regret and into restoration. Regret is a heavy burden. It keeps you looking backward instead of moving forward. It makes you feel trapped, like no matter what you do, you'll never get back what was lost. But that is a lie. Regret is a prison, and God is holding the key to your freedom. Psalm 103:12 says, "As far as the east is from the west, so far has he removed our transgressions from us." God does not hold your past against you. So why are you still holding on to it? He is not looking at your failures. He is looking at your future. He is not remembering your mistakes. He is remembering the plans he has for you. Regret serves no purpose in your life. It does not fix the past, and it only steals your future. It's time to let it go. God is not in the business of just repairing things. He is in the business of making all things new. That means he is not just going to patch up what's broken. He is going to give you something greater. Revelation 21:5 says, "Behold, I am making all things new." This is a promise for you. God is doing something new in your life, but you cannot receive what's new if you're still holding on to what's old. Let go of the past. Let go of the regret. Let go of the what-ifs and the if-onlys. Those things do not belong to you anymore. What belongs to you is restoration. What belongs to you is a new beginning. God is saying, you don't have to live in regret anymore. I have something better for you. So take a deep breath and release it. Release the guilt. Release the sadness. Release the fear that you've wasted too much time. You have not wasted a single moment, because God is about to restore everything. Your past is over. Your restoration has begun. Get ready, because what's ahead of you is going to make you forget every sorrow that came before it. The joy that is coming will be greater than the pain that was lost. There is one thing you must understand. The enemy doesn't want you to know that restoration is coming. He wants to keep you trapped in hopelessness, convinced that you have lost too much, waited too long, and made too many mistakes for things to turn around. But let me remind you, the enemy is a liar. He whispers in your ear, "It's too late. You missed your chance. Nothing will ever change." But God is speaking louder, declaring, "I will restore you. I will bring back everything that was stolen. I will do a new thing in your life." The enemy works through discouragement. He wants you to give up before your breakthrough comes. He knows that God has a plan to restore you, and he will do everything he can to make you doubt it. But hear this, the enemy has no power over God's promises. He cannot stop what God has set in motion. He cannot delay what God has already prepared. He cannot close doors that God has opened. Isaiah 14:27 says, "The Lord of heaven's armies has spoken. Who can change his plans? When his hand is raised, who can stop him?" No one can stop what God is about to do in your life. Not the enemy, not your past, not even your own doubts. The only thing the enemy can do is make you lose faith before you see the restoration. That is why he tries to wear you down with fear, anxiety, and discouragement. But today, you are breaking free from his lies. You are not too late. You are not forgotten. You are not beyond repair. God's plan for you is still intact. His restoration is still coming. When God restores, it doesn't always happen instantly. Sometimes restoration is a process, a journey, a rebuilding. And during this time, you must trust that God is working, even when you cannot see it yet. One of the greatest tests of faith is waiting. Waiting for the promise, waiting for the breakthrough, waiting for the restoration. But waiting is not wasted time. Isaiah 40:31 says, "But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." Waiting is where God strengthens you. It's where he removes doubt. It's where he prepares you for what's coming. You are not waiting in vain. You are waiting in expectation. And when the time is right, the restoration will come suddenly. Think of a seed planted in the ground. For weeks, you see nothing. No growth, no change. It seems like nothing is happening, but underground, the seed is breaking, roots are forming, and the process of growth is taking place. Then one day, seemingly out of nowhere, the seed bursts through the soil and begins to grow. This is how God's restoration works. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not happening. God is working behind the scenes, putting everything in place. So do not grow weary. Do not give up before the miracle happens. Keep believing. Keep trusting. Your restoration is coming. When God restores, he doesn't just give you back what you lost. He gives you more. Job lost everything. His wealth, his health, his family. But when God restored him, he received twice as much as before. Job 42:10 says, "After Job had prayed for his friends, the Lord restored his fortunes and gave him twice as much as he had before." God's restoration is not about breaking even. It's about abundance. It's about more peace, more joy, more opportunities, more favor. But here's the key. You must be ready to receive it. Are you preparing for overflow? Are you letting go of the past so you can embrace the future? Are you making room in your life for new blessings? Are you trusting that God is bringing something bigger and better than before? Luke 6:38 says, "Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured into your lap." God is preparing to pour blessings into your life, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. But you have to open your hands. You have to believe. You have to step into the new season with faith. Get ready, because your season of overflow is about to begin. You have waited. You have endured. You have walked through seasons of struggle, wondering if things would ever change. But now, God is declaring over your life, I will restore all your wasted years. The time you thought was lost is being redeemed. The opportunities you thought were gone are coming back. The dreams you thought were over are about to be fulfilled. This is your time to rise again, your time to believe again, your time to step into the blessings that God has prepared for you. Joel 2:25 says, I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten. This is a promise, a divine guarantee. God is not just giving you back what was lost. He is giving you back more. So today, make this declaration. God is restoring my lost years. My past is behind me. My future is filled with blessings. And I will walk in the fullness of His promises. Say it. Believe it. Walk in it. Your restoration has already begun. And if you believe this message is for you, declare it in the comments. Write "Restore" as a sign of faith that God is moving in your life. The best is yet to come. Get ready. Your greatest days are ahead of you.